everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the office Christmas party where we drink too much and someone's probably going to get out of hand. I'm Laura Lavoie, of course, and I'm joined, as always, by Bill Perkins, who is festive. How are you, Bill?
I'm festive, and I'm at the office because, as I was explaining to Laura earlier today, the Purple Onion is actually open tonight since they're not going to be open later in the week. They're open tonight and tomorrow night to give the staff a chance to make a couple bucks before Christmas, and therefore I just decided, what the hell, I'll just stay at the office and do my show from here because we have a reasonable, good internet connect. I hope so, decent internet connection tonight. And well, since it's the office Christmas party, I guess that works out. Here's the theme: I decorated my background to look like I'm at the office, right?
And exactly. It could be a virtual background for all we know, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not. I'm actually sitting in the office at my desk. Although I have the lights turned on in my office, which I don't usually. I usually work in the dark because it keeps people from bothering me. I don't know.
Nobody knows you're there. That's a tip for life right there. If you want people not to bother you in the office, turn off your lights.
Yeah, and then you can also sleep or do whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody knows. Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this ages ago, but so I got this job back in March, and this is the first job in my life. I'm 46 years old. This is the first time in my life I've had my own office. Not a cubicle, an actual honest-to-God office. So I'm kind of loving it, except for I'm on an interior part of the hallway, therefore I have no windows, and that's kind of, its own problem. But
you need to put up a painting.
I do. I need some art or something, although then I don't know, I guess I'd be tempted to turn the lights on. I don't know. I think a black light poster.
I worked at a company once where my desk was literally under a metal staircase because they didn't have anywhere else to put me, in a warehouse under a metal staircase. So I put up a poster because it was like, well, I'm stuck under a staircase. I might as well decorate it.
But was it a poster of a cat, a little kitten hanging onto something that said Friday's coming?
It was not. It was shortly after I graduated college, and I was still kind of an angsty early 20-something. So it was actually the comic book character Death. So I kind of had a reputation in that office for being a little dark, a little goth.
You were edgy, okay? Yeah, I was like, since I mostly stay in the dark, if I put a poster up in here, it'd probably be like of a skeleton smoking a blunt or something.
Awesome. That's perfect. Yeah. But we've completely strayed off the topic. We're talking offices now. We're not talking Christmas. So Let's get down to actual business. What are you drinking? I see a variety of bottles of things behind you.
I'm drinking spiked eggnog tonight. That's what I bought with. So I've got some rum here. I like white rum. I know some people like the brown, but white liquor doesn't cause pain later, so I prefer it. So anyway, I've got some nice white rum mixed with my eggnog here. I already had one before the show started, and then I said I would better pace myself because this is rum, not beer. I'll slow it down a little.
Yes, like I said, I told our viewers somebody was probably going to get out of hand. So
yeah. Okay, so I got this thing. This is what I'm going to start with tonight. Okay, so I've got this hierarchy of holiday drinks. I have this little. I go around the house and I sing a song. I sing, "It's the most festivest drink of the year," and I'm talking about eggnog. But I have 5 holiday drinks, okay? And so then, like, if I'm doing one of the other ones, I'm like, "It's the second most festivest drink of the year." That the second is probably now Highland Cold Mountain, but the third is a drink that they actually make at Purple Onion now called, it was called the White Christmas last year, but there was some argument amongst the staff that it didn't have any Christmassy flavors, and therefore it was out of hand to call it the White Christmas. So we changed the name this year to the Snow Day. What it is it's a coconut milk margarita, essentially, I guess. Instead of having lime, it's got a little tiny bit of lime, but it's mostly coconut milk, a little tiny bit of lime, and it's got tequila, and then like a little couple of cranberries thrown in there to just for looks, really.
Just to festive it up a little.
Yeah, just to be a thing, Anyway, that's the third most Festivus drink of the year now. The fourth is ginger ale with cranberry juice, and sometimes that has alcohol in it, but sometimes it's just ginger ale and cranberry juice. It depends on my mood.
Sure.
Fifth, what would be fifth? Chocolate peppermint coffee, I guess. That from Starbucks, one of those Starbucks drinks.
Yeah.
There you go. There's my hierarchy of holiday drinks.
I'm very nearly there with you. I prefer hot cocoa to coffee because I don't like coffee. But if you put some peppermint in the hot chocolate, whew, that takes it to another level. That makes it super Christmassy.
Right.
But it should also have plenty of whipped cream and sprinkles.
Okay. Yeah.
In that instance.
Yeah,
but I do have to tell you before I tell you what I'm actually drinking here. I do have to tell you the other day. So, as you know, and our viewers know, I'm really into tiki drinks and tiki culture these days. And I decided I was going to try my hand at making my own recipe for a tiki cocktail. Okay. So I took a painkiller recipe, which it's similar to a pina colada, but it's rum and coconut cream and some fruit juices and things like that.
Yeah. And mango in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some spiciness going on. So I decided I was going to make that a Christmassy drink. And I replaced the orange juice and pineapple juice, pineapple juice and orange juice in that order, with cranberry juice and grapefruit juice. So, and I called it the Pine Killer because that's a pun. And, but I was also told that if I called it the Pine Killer, it had to have some sort of association with pine, much like the snow day. It couldn't be called a White Christmas because it didn't have Christmassy flavors. Right. So my solution was to garnish the drink with a sprig of rosemary.
There you go.
See, it worked. But it was delicious. So anybody wants the Pine Killer recipe, I can share it with you at some point. It was
absolutely down below later.
I will post it down below, down there later. Not now, because I'm doing a show. But in the meantime, I just got some beers. I got here too much glare is what I got.
I like that one.
It's Accumulation. And I have here the Red Hair Brewing Sticky Stout, which is their winter warmer. And it is, in fact, kind of like a sticky toffee pudding, and it's very, very tasty. So that's what I'm drinking today. Oh,
like a figgy pudding?
Well, yeah, more like a sticky toffee pudding.
Okay.
Not really very figgy at all. Let's see what it says. Okay. It's an oatmeal stout. That's really all it tells me.
Okay.
But it's a little sweet, and it's got some Christmas spices and things like that. Oh, speaking of, I finally had my my first cold mountain. Potentially my only cold mountain since I am not currently living in Nashville. But I had it the other day and thumbs up. It was actually yesterday. Thumbs up. It was absolutely delicious. Perfect holiday flavors, hazelnut, dark beer, spices. It's very tasty.
I wasn't happy with it the first night I had it, but it grew on me and I had probably had about 6 of them. They're already tapped out. It was gone. I went in there, I don't know, the other day, Friday or something to get one, and it was already, boop, we're gone. Sorry. All out. So I guess I had about 6 glasses of it, and that's it for the year. Hey, so moving on from alcohols, since we talked about that, I want to mention this time of year, we just had Yule yesterday, right?
Yeah. Yes, we did. My favorite holiday.
All right. So, I want to wish everybody a joyous Yule and a happy solstice. And also, if you're into Festivus, it's also time for Festivus. And let's get into the airing of grievances, because that's what the show's all about.
Perfect. Check out your segue. Good job.
You like that? Yeah.
I do like that.
I've been working on my segues. I don't mean my broken 2-wheeled scooters out in the garage.
I was literally about to say, that was supposed to be the invention that changed the world.
Yeah.
Like, I remember before it came out, it was literally the invention that was going to change the world.
Well, it made cops look dorkier.
And now you go on little tours if you visit, tourist town, and I've done that. I've ridden the Segway.
Tourists look dorkier also. If you want to like a dork, get on a Segway.
Yeah, if you want it, outside of wearing a T-shirt that said "I'm a goddamn tourist, stay out of my way," the other way to do that is go on a Segway tour.
Yeah, it basically alerts everybody that people just sneer at you when you come by. Asshole.
Although, to be honest, part of me wants to just do one in my own town just because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. You probably get them on discount now.
Oh, right now, for sure. All right, so but we segued from your Segway, so let's segue back.
You segued into Segways, and now we're It was the most meta segue.
That's why we're only funny to us. That's why we have 3 viewers, because we are only funny to us. So thank you, viewers, for finding us hilarious.
Okay, so airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about them. So this is the general. So even though the theme here is holiday party, we're really just bitching about Christmas or the holidays, I guess, in general, right? We want to talk about travel. Travel's a headache, right? I'm going to address this for a minute. If you came from a broken home, which many of us Gen Xers did, you had the very excruciating grief of having your family fight over your presents, and I don't mean your gifts. I mean your
physical presence.
Your physical presence being there. It became a headache. It was always, what day are you going to be? Are you going to be here on Christmas Day? Are you going to be here on Christmas Eve? Blah, blah, blah. And everybody wants to see you. And, and if you pick the one side of the family, then the other side of the family is mad at you, and so forth and so on. I made the mistake of my first marriage, marrying someone who also came from a broken home. So then we had 4 different families tug-of-warring over us, because when you get into a relationship, it becomes a whole other thing too. I think the people who don't even come from a broken home can deal with the fight of, your in-laws and your family both like, oh, when are you gonna come over here? So anyway, I don't know. For me, there's a certain amount of love-hate with the holidays due to that whole thing. Like, it's the reason Halloween is a better holiday to me, because my family doesn't fight with me about whether or not I'm going to come over there for Halloween.
Right, that's fair.
Whereas, Christmas, it's always this whole ordeal, and somebody's feelings are going to get hurt, and I just, and I don't know. And there's so much passive-aggressive nonsense going on that it just becomes frustrating. I'm at the age now where I can eschew that, and I just, whatever. I'm like a duck, and the water just rolls off my back. I don't care anymore. They should have gotten used to it by now. I'm going to be where I'm going to be, and you're going to deal with it, and that's how it's going to go down. But I will say it caused me a great deal of hand-wringing in my younger years, and even though I'm over it now, it still sort of puts that like weight on the holidays, like I still feel like this kind of the stress. And then there's the added stress also of like trying to get something for everybody, trying to get something to make everybody happy also, so that's a thing. And these are very first world complaints about the holidays, because, I don't actually suffer from holiday depression or even really winter depression, so I don't have those things on top of just the random stress that I get, So if you're suffering from all that stuff, I really feel for you, because it's bad enough if everything's mostly peachy. So,
right, that's fair.
But yeah, anyway, but to address, sorry, now I'm gonna pivot to talking about the seasonal depression that some of us get. I don't actually suffer from it, but I've lived with people who do suffer from it. A couple years ago, I think my wife, in an effort to avoid the stressful part of Christmas, decided we weren't going to decorate. And while that might have alleviated some of the Christmas stress, she didn't take into account the midwinter depression, which is the entire reason for the bringing a tree into your house and putting lights all over it.
Right.
Because you're trying to bring some light into your life and give yourself something to feel cheerful about. So she learned the hard way that you don't do that. And since then, every year we put up the tree whether we want to or not. And this year we got a bigger house, and we've got like a huge, like a 2-story ceiling in the living room, right? There's a catwalk and everything. And we actually got a 10-foot tree this year. And it's funny because she was remarking 2 days ago that she just doesn't really feel Christmassy this year. But I was like, yeah, but imagine how less Christmassy you'd feel if we didn't have that tree. You know?
That is very, very true. And to that point, I know we're all a little sad, especially this year, because Christmas is totally different than it has been in years past, right?
Sorry.
But I also, the hat is too hot. I cannot do a hat. No more hat. You are not festive anymore. But so I look at this year as kind of pressing a big reset button, because right now we can say, no, I'm not going to travel to wherever. No, I'm not going to do these big things. And that might give us a chance to kind of reset for what we really want to do next year. So yeah. I think that's actually, I'm looking at it as a good thing. To the travel point, we used to, because we moved to Georgia in the early 2000s, but our families were still up in Michigan. So every Christmas, we would get in our car and drive 12 hours to Detroit, which at Christmas is not the prettiest place you've ever seen. If it were pretty snow, that'd be one thing, but it's not. It's city snow. Everything's gross. Everything's gray. Everything's dark. So I don't love it. We love seeing our friends and family, but I did not love the annual trips. So we stopped doing that a couple of years ago. We've reset our whole holiday plan. All I ever wanted as an adult was to celebrate Christmas in my own house. So I'm grateful. And this year is actually the last year I will have to celebrate Christmas not in my own actual house. We're in our own place where we live. We're in Atlanta. But next year we'll be back in Asheville in our actual own house where we will celebrate the holiday.
Right. That'll be good. I think it's definitely all the events of this year help you prioritize maybe what's important in your life because of the things you didn't get to do. It's funny. I probably for the last I don't know, maybe 8 years haven't really gone to a lot of concerts, and then I started doing it I don't know, the previous fall, and then. Right. I had just kind of starting to go to concerts again, and then this happened, and now I'm like, I'm glad I got in the handful I did prior to it, because boy, the not being able to go to do anything really makes you go, boy, I miss live music, and I miss theater or whatever, any kind of entertainment, any kind of live entertainment, you miss it, and I'm gonna make sure once we've all been vaccinated and we can do things again, that I don't miss an opportunity to. And I'm probably not going to turn down as many invites.
That's fair. I think that's a good reset button to hit. So we should probably do our quick station break and then get to some of our potential topics. And we really this episode is almost entirely freeform. I have a list of random things we can talk about, but we're probably just gonna bitch about Christmas. Although bitch is a strong word because I freaking love Christmas. But and to that point, I want to talk about a specific thing I specifically love at Christmas. This year, whatever you're doing, starting at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve and ending at 6 p.m. Christmas Day, tune in to Princeton, New Jersey, College Radio, WPRB 103.3 FM. You can listen.wprb.com to literally my favorite annual Christmas tradition. It's the 32nd year that John Solomon is doing his 25-hour Christmas music marathon. And if you think you like weird Christmas music, you have no idea. This is weird like nothing else you've ever listened to. So you got to prepare yourselves. And I'm not suggesting you listen to all 25 hours, but at least tune in for a couple hours here and there, because it is epic, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my very, very favorite things to do.
Oh, and what holiday music? I want to throw this out there. A couple of years ago, I was in a band called Eddie and the Whirlpools, and we put together a Christmas song that we got recorded just specifically to send to that show to see if we could get it on the air. And I think we missed the deadline to get it on the air that year, and I have forgotten about that show in its entirety until last week when Laura brought it up. So we've also missed the deadline for this year, but maybe one of these years we'll send our stupid song in, and it'll get played on that show. However, you can search on the YouTube for Eddie and the Whirlpools Christmas on Mars if you would like to hear the song. I think my friend Ian was the biggest lyricist on that. So it's a song about a fellow who had volunteered to be like the first colonizer of Mars. And it's kind of speaking to what we were just talking about. I think he chose to move to Mars to get away from all the hassle of having to deal with your family and their bullshit. So he's spending his first Christmas on Mars all by himself, and he's loving it. That's what the song's about. I'm gonna talk for a minute about Christmas songs. You know, I know last week was about Christmas music, but I don't know if I mentioned, but so to me, like I had this whole idea about writing an entire Christmas album, and the reason was I saw a special one time about how the bass player for the Waitresses, he gets a check every January for $50,000 because of all the times that Christmas wrapping shows up in a commercial or in the background of a Hallmark movie or whatever the hell. He gets this, and it's not like $50,000. It's loads of money. But if you're a working musician who's in his 60s, a non-working musician,
right,
60s, to collect a check for $50,000 once a year because of a song you wrote once, that's a pretty good payout.
And that's an annual salary for most people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's, it's about my annual salary too. So like, I'd be happy with that deal. So this was my idea, was if you write a Christmas song and it's just catchy enough, or maybe people are just looking for a new Christmas song to wedge into a movie or whatever. That's really where it's at. It's the royalties. I don't even care if the song's good. You want to just write a different Christmas song, and if somebody sees it and they stick it in a movie or something somewhere, then you'll be able to collect the royalty checks every year because that movie will get aired on TNT or TBS every year. And anyway, that's my plan. That's my retirement plan right now is Christmas songs. So I started a new Christmas song the other day. I started writing one. It's about going broke every Christmas, about how every year you hand wring and you say, "Oh, I'm not doing that again next year. I'm not going to go into debt over it." And then it comes around and you lose your damn mind every year, and you just start spending money recklessly and anyway, which is something I did this year again for the
Me too.
time, and maybe it's because like we don't have a whole lot to bring us joy right now, so that's like some retail therapy might just be what we needed, right? But that being said, I know I'm going to be like hand wringing over it in January when the bill comes due, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, oh, it's just so. Anyway, so I'm writing a song about blowing a big wad at Christmas time, and I don't know. I got like an intro, and I've got a couple funny rhymes written down, like they're just notes right now. It's just like I've got a kernel of an idea. It'll work itself out in about 6 months. And hopefully in time to get together and maybe make it a thing. Maybe it'll be on the next John Solomon's 24-hour Christmas special hoedown thingy.
You should make that a goal. Like, I think you should make that a goal. I've actually thought about it because they also play like recorded stories and things. Because obviously I am not a musician in any way, but I've thought about sending in a story. And there's a couple, like there's one that they play every year at midnight. And the first time we heard it, when we started listening to this thing ages ago, I listened to that story. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, I don't care about this. This is so dumb. But now that we've been listening, and our tradition was to always listen late at night, because Matt's mom would go to midnight mass, and we would stay up and we would bake when we were at her apartment. So we'd listen to it then. So I always heard the midnight story. And now, after so many years, 10 years, I don't know how long we've been doing it, 15 years, it's not Christmas until I hear that story at midnight. Like, I start to crave it. Like, right around now, I'm like, oh, I could listen to that story. Like, it's like, and it's not a good story, but I could probably quote it all to you now because I've heard it so many years. But it's not Christmas until I hear it, because that's what signifies, like, it's midnight Christmas Eve. It's Christmas now, people.
Huh. I can hear this story. I don't know if I'm going to stay up till midnight listening to your special, but
you just tune in at like 5 minutes to midnight, listen to it. I do suggest continuing to listen until past 12:34 in the morning, because at 12:34 they do the all Ramones set.
All right, yeah.
So it's always worth listening to.
Okay.
So it's just a great tradition. So as a segue, as we do on this show, so yeah, Matt says you should hear it. So if you can, tune in at midnight.
Yeah.
But and it's gonna be dumb. You're gonna hear it the first time. You're gonna be like, why did I stay up for this? But then, I don't know, it'll get into your soul or something. So, but speaking of segues, in Christmas traditions,
like you need to hear it 3 times before it starts to mean something.
Maybe, yes, sure.
Okay.
But let's talk Christmas traditions, because people are very specific about Christmas traditions. Like, every single individual family has its own tradition. And you do not deviate from that tradition, because that is tradition. So give me show me what tradition is like for Bill Perkins and family.
Oh, so we do a thing Christmas Eve. We usually we open a set of presents, and those presents usually include new pajamas for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then also they include either a board game or a family movie or a book or something, like a storybook though. I guess it's changed as the kids got older. It used to be it was a book when they were young, like a Christmas story or something. And then it became a movie, and then it became a board game now. I think that's what we're doing now. I actually don't know that we actually bought the pajamas this year, because Emily was looking for the perfect pajamas, and stores have just been like, decimated. Like, it's hard to find stuff. Like, it's actually very sparse trying to buy things for people. So I think we're actually going to have to suffer a lack of tradition and not have pajamas this year. Nobody's getting new pajamas, but we will play some board games. So whatever, that's our thing.
It's funny you say that though, because pajamas had never been our tradition. But yes, we always open a gift at Yule, because solstice, because for a variety of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why we do it. And usually we know what those gifts are for a different set of reasons, which I could go into, but this would be a whole show and nobody cares. But nobody cares. But yesterday we opened some presents that we knew what they were. We just wrapped them so that it was something to open. But then I played Santa, and I got us, the whole family, a set of matching pajamas. And when I say whole family, I literally mean whole family, because here's Toast's tiny bandana. So everybody got some Fa La La Llama pajamas, and we opened them yesterday. So we're taking your tradition and running with it, although I didn't even realize it.
Well, there you go. Hi, Jill, by the way.
Hi, Jill. We're so excited that you're here. We love seeing our friends at the holiday. Thank you for appearing at the BHO Office Christmas Party. So the punch bowl is over there, open bar over there.
I'll be handing out the Xeroxes of my butt in a little bit. That'll be nice.
I figured that would happen eventually, so that's what we're going with. So what else you got? What do you normally eat at the holidays?
So growing up, some of these things have changed a little bit because, they were like my family's thing. I do miss this though. It's not something I do now, and I don't fret over it too badly, but at the same time I do miss it. So my family used to, one of our holiday meals was we would have pulled pork on Christmas Day.
Nice.
And my uncle actually used to go out on Christmas Eve, and he was in a hunting club, and so him and all of his fellows in the hunting club, I guess they would get together and they would buy a large pig, and they would all go cook it together. They'd be out there all night cooking this pig, and then they would divvy it up in the morning and they take it to their respective households, and so he would be out there all Christmas Eve cooking the pig. And then he would, come in the morning with it, and we would always enjoy it. It was delicious. It's what and I would love to have some pulled pork on Christmas morning, but probably won't happen. It's not my wife's favorite thing on earth. It's probably way down the list of her favorite or not favorite things. I don't know. So
it's down the list of her favorite things, but near the top of her list of unfavorite things.
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 from the top of the unfavorite things. Yes, so that's how far down the favorite things list it is. And then on top of that, even if we did have it, I live in Western North Carolina now, and they don't know how to make barbecue over here, so it would be lackluster. Anywho. You know,
I got opinions about that. But as someone who grew up in Detroit, Western North Carolina barbecue is my barbecue. Because I moved, and now that's what I like.
It's funny. I moved to Western North Carolina. I started eating brisket barbecue because all the barbecue places in Asheville have pork barbecue, but then they also have brisket, which is Texas barbecue. And I'm sure if you're from Texas, it's probably not very good brisket. But here's the thing. I grew up somewhere where I don't know shit from Shinola about brisket. It's not what we have. So to me, all I know is it's not poser barbecue. Okay. So it's not trying to be my barbecue without pulling it off. so I started eating the brisket because it's different. It's like, it's not trying to be pork barbecue that doesn't work for me. It's a completely different animal, as they say, because it totally is a different animal.
Well, it's legit. That is true. But if you tried to tell someone from Texas that you love Western Carolina brisket, they would douse you with holy water and tell you to find Jesus.
I wouldn't tell that to a Texan. I mean, so that being said, sorry, there is one barbecue place in Asheville now where the guy is actually from the next town over from me. So for years, the main barbecue places in Asheville, I didn't really care for the barbecue at. And then I went in this one place that opened up a couple years ago that everybody was crowing about and tried it out. And I was like, hey, there's something a little different going on here. and then I was in there one night and he has rotating specials and stuff. And I was in there one night and they had a dish called chicken bog. Now, chicken bog is a very specific. It's not even regional. It's like 3 counties in South Carolina make chicken bog. Okay, if you're from one of those 3 counties, you know what chicken bog is, and if you're from anywhere else, you're like, chicken what now?
Yeah, I only know it from cooking shows and from Carolina chef.
Right. So it's a style of a gumbo, I guess, is what you'd say. It's a sticky rice dish with some chicken parts and sausage and a couple other, there's a variations. You can throw some different stuff in there. Most people kind of make it about the same though. Usually it's got chicken and sausage and a lot of broth. So it's really gooey, sticky rice. Anyway, I love the shit out of that. We had it once a week in elementary school. They would cook it. The lunch ladies would cook it once a week.
Wow.
And so I grew up thinking it was a thing everybody had because because it was on the lunch menu. You know what I'm saying? Like that seems like that'd be pretty pedestrian. Whatever's on the lunch menu, that's just generic stuff.
Right.
I mean, everybody has the square pizza. I'm fairly certain that's universal. No matter whether you're from Detroit or Darlington, South Carolina, you had the square pizza.
Yeah, the bad lunchroom pizza. Yes, I think that's. That was sent nationwide.
In Detroit, they thought that the square pizza was bad, so that's different because everybody in South Carolina went ape shit over that pizza. They still to this day, kids longingly remember the square pizza.
Yes, and I believe Jill's point is to the chicken bog and not the square pizza because she's from Detroit, so she's got opinions about square pizza.
Okay, well, anyway, because they cooked it in the because they cooked the chicken bog in the school cafeteria, I thought it was like universal type dish. Because we had some shit that people didn't cook at home. Like they would serve Swiss steak once a month, and that's not something anybody where I grew up eats. Like no Southern family makes that at home.
Yeah, I used to get Swiss steak all the time.
Well, but they would cook it. And we would have Polish sausage with cabbage. Again, not a Southern dish.
Not at all. My father was half Polish, and we didn't even eat Polish sausage most of the time.
Right. So there was some weird shit they put on the school lunch menu, and I just assumed it was all like, these are universal foods that are universally enjoyed around the country by other people, maybe, and so some of them don't overlap with us, and that's why we like turn our nose up on Polish Sausage Day. We're like, oh shit, it's that? Okay, whatever. I mean, I'll eat it, but I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, that's what we would do, But then chicken bog, everybody was like, woo, yeah, chicken bog day, yeah, and that happened once a week probably. Chicken bog, probably cheap to make. I mean, that's the backbone of most Southern. Anyway, so I went in this place in Asheville, and the guy made chicken bog, and I was like, oh shit, and I asked somebody, one of the servers, I was like, where's the chef from? And, I think he's from Florence, South Carolina. I was like, yeah, I thought so. And so anyway, Buxton Hall barbecue is my jam. If I'm going to eat barbecue in Asheville, that's where I go because he makes my barbecue.
It's a good place. Like that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. Well, that's my barbecue at Buxton Hall. He makes it vinegar. Well, in all fairness, so here's the thing. I'll say this is the biggest difference. So when you grow up in Eastern North Carolina or Northeastern South Carolina, the vinegar-based barbecue is not just about what type sauce it is, but also they sauce the meat while the meat's cooking, usually. Now, in the places in Asheville, even Buxton Hall, where he's from over there, they usually just leave it sauceless and let you sauce it later because people have opinions about sauce. But I'm saying even that, even if you have the right sauce, if you sauce it after the fact, it's not true Eastern style barbecue. True Eastern style barbecue would have been marinated in sauce while it was cooking. There's the biggest difference. You shouldn't even have to put sauce on it after it's done. You may, because you just want it saucier. That's up to you. But anyway, that's our holiday tradition in my family growing up. We always had a pulled pork barbecue. I'm trying to think if we have a food tradition now. I don't think we really do, to my knowledge. No.
Yeah. Growing up, my mom made like basically Thanksgiving dinner for Christmas. So we just had it a month ago, and now we're going to have the same thing again. But then we won't have it again for a year. Right. Although with the addition of ham, there was always ham at Christmas, and there was never ham at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But then I got together with Matt, my Greek-Italian life partner, who's in the other room listening to us. I met, and I will tell you, Italian Thanksgiving is its own thing, and then you throw in some Greeks, and that's nothing anyone else has ever experienced. So, like, pasta is a holiday dish. You're going to have all the pasta, a variety of pastas. It's totally like my big fat Greek wedding, where you're like, oh no, I'm a vegetarian. They're like, you don't eat no meat? I make lamb. Like, that's literally how it works. So, but I'm okay with that, and I have come to absolutely adore Italian Christmas food. Like I want hearty pastas and delicious things like that. So like I said, this year is a reset button, right? And we're in, Atlanta for the last time, and then we're moving back. So we have a chance to completely retool our Christmas. So we're actually trying a brand new, hopefully, tradition for Christmas Eve dinner, which is a Sicilian tradition called the Feast of Seven Fishes, which normally is 7 fishes. We are actually making 3 fishes because it's literally the 2 of us, and we do not need that many fishes. But the idea is there are 7 different kinds of fish that you eat on Christmas Eve. There's actually a movie we just watched called The Feast of the Seven Fishes, and it's very, very good. So I recommend you check that out. I believe it's on Amazon. But we're going to try it this year and see if it's something we want to do moving forward. But they're not just standard. The actual Feast of the Seven Fishes is very Italian. It's very fried. It's very heavy. It's very weird not doing all that. Like I'm making scallops and then a salmon salad, and then we're making a shrimp pasta. But and we have a question. Does Toast get her own fish? Toast will probably get some fish. Toast is our cat, and she will probably get some fish. Maybe not her own fish.
A shrimp.
A shrimp all her own. She will definitely get some food. I promise you that.
Okay.
She's spoiled. Very spoiled.
Yeah.
But so we're looking to do that. And we're not traveling to Michigan anymore because our family dynamics have changed, all of that sort of thing. So now we can stay at home, and I'm actually really grateful for that. But Christmas Day, and this will segue us into another tradition, we used to always go to see a movie on Christmas Day. That was our big thing. That was like our big event of the day, and then we'd do whatever family meal was happening, whether it was at a cousin's house or Matt's mom's house or whatever. And obviously this year we're not going to see a movie, but we decided to recreate it because HBO Max is going to show Wonder Woman 1984. So we bought movie popcorn for the microwave. We bought Mike and Ike's. We bought soda so we can actually, in our living room, attempt to recreate a movie theater experience.
Yeah. You're going to turn the TV on?
Yes. We'll turn off all the lights, although it'll be during the day, so it won't be that. I guess we could pull these blinds. We never do. But yes, and then we'll turn the volume up so we bother the neighbors a lot.
Yeah. Especially when the VHS thing comes on, you want to like rattle the whole house,
Which would be one thing if we were in our own house, but we're in an apartment complex. So if we do that, we will literally, we will probably get banging on the wall. Please turn it down. It's Christmas Day, people.
We're actually looking forward to seeing Wonder Woman. Probably watch it on Christmas Day as well. I think we're going to pick up HBO for that reason, and then we'll probably keep it for a month or 2 and catch up on whatever crap that we haven't been watching. Lovecraft Country and Raised by Wolves. I think I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I might watch that.
And Watchmen. Definitely check out Watchmen.
Oh yeah, Watchmen, which is filmed in Decatur.
Decatur, right over there, that way.
Right over there.
That direction. No, my sister actually, because she loves going to see movies on Christmas Day. She messaged me the other day and said, we're going to watch Wonder Woman on Christmas Day. I'm like, that's exactly what we're going to do. And they always did it because, so my family would celebrate Christmas on the day after Christmas because my sister, after she had kids, decided she wanted to stay at home with the kids. Now her kids are adult children. One lives in California. One's about to move to New Mexico. So it's different. But she wanted to be at home on Christmas Day with her kids. So we started doing the day after Christmas with my family, my parents and my brother and me and Matt and my sister's family. So, but obviously we're not doing that this year for a variety of reasons, but not the least of which is the fact that nobody wants us to come to Michigan during a very rapid COVID outbreak. So
it's fair. All right.
What else do we got? Let's see. Oh, seasonal decorations. You mentioned the tree. But other than a tree, are there any decorations that you have to have that would make it Christmas? You got to have the mistletoe, the wreath on your door. What do you need?
We don't go crazy with all that stuff. We could probably do a wreath every other year, and then we talk about how much we wanted a wreath the other years. Because Emily likes to craft that sort of thing, and sometimes she has time for it, sometimes she doesn't, right? So sometimes it gets done, and sometimes it does not. Right now, actually, our door is not presentable, so there's no point in a wreath because she wants to take the front door down. She wants a different front door, so we're not decorating that piece of shit door. So that's where we're at with that right now.
That's fair.
No, decorations wise, I mean, mostly the tree. I'll tell you a funny story though about decorations. So in my previous marriage, I used to go over on Christmas Eve. We used to go over to my ex-wife's uncle's house, and his wife would always have this little thing up on the mantelpiece that said Santa. It was spelled out. It was like individual blocks that says Santa.
Yes.
And I would come in every year and I'd rearrange them so that it said Satan. And it's funny because I did it probably like 3 years in a row. And after that, it got to the point where she felt like it wasn't Christmas until Bill comes in here and changes the thing to say Satan.
Nice. I love that. Actually, I love that more than you could possibly know, because when I was in, my mom had a set of angels, like there were little candle holders, and they were Noel angels. I did. So I didn't do it at home, but at some point when I moved to college, I was living in a house with a bunch of roommates while I was in college, and I acquired these angels somehow so that we could decorate. And I put them on the mantle in our house, this trashy little house we lived in that was way too nasty and probably more expensive, but less expensive because it was nasty. So I put them on the mantle, and I immediately put them so they said Leon. And if she's listening, Bridget, because she is my Facebook friend, Bridget, I love you. But Bridget, my friend, she actually works. Fun fact: she works in Spartanburg, North Carolina, so you could actually go hang out with Bridget at lunchtime if you wanted. After the pandemic. But Bridget would get violently angry that I kept making them say Leon. So she would always move them back so they said Noel. And then every day, myself or one of my other roommates would move it back so it said Noel or said Leon. So we're sorry, Bridget. We're sorry we gave you that kind of complex in college. We didn't mean to. But I still find it funnier that it said Leon, to be honest.
Yeah. So do you have those with you now?
No, they are lost to the annals of time.
Oh, that's a shame, because you're in Decatur where it would be, you could have Ponce de Leon.
That's true. And literally right up the road from us is a restaurant called Leon's Full Service, named because it is on the aforementioned Ponce de Leon, I said Ponce de Leon because that's how you pronounce it in Atlanta. You do not pronounce it in Spanish. It's more affectionately known as Ponce, but Leon's Full Service on Ponce de Leon is right up the road from us. So I would completely get another set of those. If I ever saw the same one, I would 100% buy it.
Oh yeah, I do this when I go into an antique store and I see classic decorations that my grandmother owned. I kind of like, I don't necessarily need to waste the money on them, but I do fawn over them a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking to that, so people who are close friends with me probably saw my Facebook or Instagram this week, but we on Sunday went to a fancy antique store specifically to purchase a specific ornament. So somebody had sent me this picture. They saw this ornament and thought of me. And I called the place and asked them how much it was, because if it was going to be like $90, I'd probably let it go. But turns out it was on sale. So I went and I got this ornament, and I'll have to post it later on down below. Probably everybody saw it though. I'm sure most people who listen to the show right now are friends of mine. But it was the ornament was one of those blown glass ornaments of Mr. Karl Lagerfeld and his cat Choupette.
I have to be honest, and I know everybody that's currently watching the show saw it and knows why it is important to you. But I laughed out loud when I saw that. Like, literally laughed out loud. So are you willing to share how much was the actual final purchase of your Karl Lagerfeld and Choupette?
It was $10. A steal.
Damn, I would have bought 10 of them.
Right. Well, they only had the one, but you know.
Could you imagine like your whole tree theme is Karl Lagerfeld?
That would be awesome. I mean, I could do some other things. I could just get some like little white cats and some dark sunglasses. I could go to the Dollar Tree and just buy dark sunglasses and throw them all over the tree.
And white Persian looking cats.
And I need to get like a weird tree though, probably like something Melania Trump would put up, right? Like some sort of bleak, black, skinny tree or something.
Yeah. See, future idea.
the Karl Lagerfeld tree.
And I guess if you got like little dress forms or something, like, you know, it's like there are a few things you could do to make that. Wrap it in black satin ribbon.
Yeah, as a garland. I got you. Yeah. I could make it work. Yeah, we might do a Lagerfeld tree in the future.
I am here for that. You should totally do that. All right.
I guess everybody might know, but just to back this up, I had a brief obsession with Karl Lagerfeld several years ago, and actually cosplayed Karl Lagerfeld at Dragon Con one year, and so
wait, you're not telling the whole story. You cosplayed Karl Lagerfeld. Why?
Why? Well, I wanted to do Karl Lagerfeld, and you guys were putting together a group cosplay of Harry Potter characters. And so I was like, but I'm already doing Karl Lagerfeld. And so then I decided at the last minute that it was Karl Lagerfeld, who is the professor of dark fiber arts at Hogwarts.
So yeah, you were totally Slytherin Karl Lagerfeld. And I think it was one of my favorite mashup costumes ever. Like ones that I've done, ones that I've seen. I think the only one that would top it for me of ones that I've seen was Ash Wednesday. That somebody was Wednesday Addams mashed up with got the chainsaw, with the chainsaw with Ash from whatever. Yeah. Yes, that's the one. I've been drinking, so I cannot remember names anymore. So
right.
That is legit one of the problems with Christmas parties. So I just have to quick say my previous company, because I worked for myself for almost 10 years. My actual previous company, we would have like blowout Christmas parties. Sometimes it would be at a place with a full bar, and it would get out of control. And we weren't that big a company, so we had to still see these people the next day, you know, like the next Monday.
I had that experience. The thing, the company I worked at two jobs ago was kind of a small startup when I began with them, and they eventually got acquired by a larger company. But we still, when we had a party, it was still just the kind of the group, like the 20 people in the office there in Asheville. And we would do that same thing. We would rent out a place. It would be like a, you know, some years it was better than others because it depended on the venue. Yeah. But we would have, you know, usually an open bar. I always got their money's worth out of the open bar myself.
Oh yes.
And catering also. But then, like the last time I remember, they had karaoke also. And of course, I love me some karaoke. So I did some karaoke in for everybody. I sang Last Christmas and some other fine Christmas tunes. Probably did Blue Christmas also. I'm pretty sure I did because I usually do. If it's the month of December and I'm doing karaoke, you're going to hear Blue Christmas probably.
Yeah, that's fair. So I worked for a staffing agency, and I was working there during the recession, like the Great Recession. So one year we weren't sure we were going to be able to have a Christmas party because we had no money because no one was hiring people because there was a recession. So Matt and I were living in a house a big house just outside of Atlanta. And I decided to offer our house as our Christmas party venue. And normally we would have the blowout parties, wherever. But this one we actually hosted it at our house. We infrared fried a turkey because we bought this fancy infrared turkey fryer. It worked, but it broke. Like we only got one turkey out of the thing. And then yeah, that was it. But then we had all kind of I made Christmas sangria, and I mean it was the equivalent of our blowout party, but at my house because I just didn't like the idea of us not having a Christmas party. Like it made me sad that we weren't going to have a Christmas party. Mm-hmm. So, but then after that, the economy started coming back and we could have real Christmas parties at real restaurants again. But I actually do remember once getting in an almost knockdown, drag down fight, whatever, with one of my coworkers over the Lions' brand new quarterback because she went to UGA and he played for UGA, and then he was drafted by the Lions, and she for some reason didn't like him even though she loved UGA. Like we almost got into a fist fight over this, and those are the things that should happen at Christmas parties right there.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Completely great. All right, we are getting ever so close to the end of the show. I have a mailbag question for us. I know, right? This is our we don't always have mailbags, so thank you for sending mailbag questions in. The question this week is, Bill, if Santa Claus and Jesus got into a fight, who would win?
I started to say Jesus was a pacifist, but then he did give a beat down in the temple that time.
It's true.
And then he's also the son of God they're both magic, but Jesus has probably got more stronger magic. I'm going to give it to Jesus. I think Jesus could take the fat man in a fight. I think.
I think the fact that Jesus is perpetually 33, right? That's our estimate.
Lean and mean, right?
Right, and Santa is perpetually 70 or however old Santa is.
You see the hairs on that guy when they have him naked on that cross, though. He's built.
It's true. That's true. I don't know how that happened, but it's true. So honestly, though, my real question is, how did Santa and Jesus come to blows? What led up to this? Because I'm far more interested in the back.
It's funny. This came up one time I was at Dragon Con, and there was a panel discussion with Kelly Sue DeConnick, where people are always asking her. She says people come up to her all the time, and they're like, "Who would win in a fight, Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman?" And she goes, "Why would they fight?
Right?
Why?" That's what she says. She says, it's funny because they do this when they have male superhero mashups. Like even the beginning of the Avengers, they have to show up and beat the hell out of each other before they can be a team.
Right.
And I think her point was that these two female superheroes are, first off, they're logical before they're anything, and they would see that they're on the same side and they would not fight. But I don't know how in the hell Santa Claus and Jesus come to blows. I don't know. I don't know what they'd be sore about.
Far more interested in the backstory to that than the actual fight.
There was a comic strip the other day. Did I not send it to you? But it said Santa Claus was like, "Hey, JC, I'm sorry that I take some of the shine off of your birthday or whatever," and he was like, "Don't worry about it, big guy. It's all good." He's like, who I really have it in for is Frosty. He's pulling that whole "I'll be back again someday" shit. That's totally
That's funny. I like that. That's good stuff. All right. So, Bill, do you have I believe you do, because we talked about it before the show. Do you have a things that are extra this week?
I have a things that are extra. It's extra because it's left over from last week that I didn't get to when we were talking about Christmas music. I meant to bring this up, and then I thought about it later. And I think about it probably once a day this time of year because I'm driving around or I'm in a store and I'll hear a song on the radio or on the Muzak, and the song is anything by the Jackson 5 regarding Christmas. Usually it's Santa Claus is coming to town, but they've also got I Saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus and a handful of other Santa Claus related songs. And every time I hear it, I get mad. I get mad not at the Jackson 5, but I get mad on their behalf because they were kids and their dad was forcing them to sing about Christmas. And they were Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't get to celebrate Christmas, but they had to sing all these damn songs about all these other kids getting toys and stuff. And on top of being Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm fairly certain their dad was kind of abusive. So like they probably didn't get toys on the random either, because sometimes you'll hear that about people, like they're like, oh well, they don't celebrate Christmas, but they get toys at other times or what. They did not. They probably didn't get anything ever, and that's anyway. When I hear the Jackson 5 Christmas songs, it makes me kind of slightly irrationally mad because I think about those poor kids having to shill for Christmas when they don't get to celebrate it. What a sham that is. So that's my things that are extra today.
That's fair. So yeah, let's all hold a moment of silence for the Jackson children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's enough. All right. I mean, the rest of them have taken it all the way to the bank. The remaining Jackson children definitely have received their payout for it. So at least they've got their revenge, whatever that is.
Okay.
So I don't know, whatever that is. All right. We are done for this week. I want to remind our viewers that we are going to do our year-end wrap-up show. The theme is ostensibly New Year's resolutions, but we'll be back in 1 week to just tell 2020 to fuck right off is what we're going to do mostly. So will you take us away, Bill?
Yeah, this year's show is being produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are those of his and his alone, except for the ones that Laura shakes her head in agreement to, and vice versa on the ones that she says, they probably disagreed on what they want to eat for Christmas, whatever. But, anyhow, be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on the whatever social platform you're on that you're watching this on. I don't recall which ones do which, but, and anyway, catch us at the same time next week where we'll have another exciting show just like this one. And Laura's going to post that drink recipe down below after this. And anyway, yeah, have a good one. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Happy holidays, everyone. See you in a week.